Hi, thanks for joining me today for this class on lung health. We're going to be doing some exercises to help open up and expand around the chest area and keep the lungs nice and healthy. And we will be doing at the end some 3-part pranayama. If it's something that you're not familiar with in your practice, there is another tutorial video on the website that you can go to, practice it there for a while, and then come back and do this video. So we'll start as always sitting comfortably on the mat. Spine nice and tall, and close your eyes. So here I want you to observe your natural breath. Without trying to yogify it, lengthen it, change it. Just observe as it flows in and out through your nose. Observe here the relationship that the breath has with your body. Which parts of the body do you feel moving as you breathe? Can you observe and locate the epicenter of the breath, that central expansion point when you breathe? Is there a natural equal rhythm to the breath, or do you find that your inhale is longer or shorter than your exhale? Does it feel like it's shallow or deep? Does it feel a smooth breath, or is it jerky? You make all of these observations without judgment, just watching the breath as it moves steadily in and out through the nose. And gently dropping your chin towards your chest. Open the eyes and keep the gaze low. Come forwards onto all fours. Stretch out the soles of the feet. So tucking the toes under. Come back here into a little squat. Spread your toes nice and wide. And then slowly come forwards and lower the knees down to the mat. So you can hold it here if you want to. You can bring the hands to the thighs and sit back onto your heels. Find what feels right for you. Notice as you're holding this, if you're sitting back to the heels, try and keep the pelvic floor soft. The whole idea here with stretching the feet is releasing fascia, releasing tension right the way from the soles of the feet up to the pelvic floor, which in turn moves up into the diaphragm. So we're allowing the breath to deepen. We're finding space in the body for the breath and the energy to flow. Just holding for a couple more breaths. Good. And then slowly coming back onto the feet. Come up to standing. We're going to come into Tadasana. Feet slightly wider than hip distance. You can have a soft bend in your knees. Spread your toes nice and wide on the mat. Feel the feet firmly rooted down. So here we're going to move with our breath, and we're going to explore the relationship between the breath and the movement. Just observe how your breath flows as we move. So we're going to open the arms out to the side, turning the palms up, and then lowering the arms down by the side. Again, opening the arms out, turn the palms up, lower the arms down. So do this with your breath. Observe how it feels as you inhale, turn the palms up. Exhale, lower the palms down. How does it feel if you do it the other way around? So look at that natural relationship as the body wants to expand and brighten as we inhale. Exhale, soften and release. Good. 3 more times. Good. And then placing a soft bend to the knees. Nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, fold forwards, coming into a dangling position. You can let the arms hang heavy to the floor. Take hold of opposite elbows if you want to. Gently sway side from side if it feels nice. And come back to the center and hold it here for 10 breaths. Just feel the breath as it flows and moves in and out of your body. For 3 more breaths.
And then pressing down into your feet on the inhale, roll up to standing. Standing, keeping the feet hip distance apart.
We're going to make a gentle fist with the hands and we're going to start tapping. So we're going to tap underneath the collarbone, around the sides of the chest, the lungs, coming up the middle of the chest. Gentle taps on the sternum. Be mindful of that tender area around the solar plexus. Coming up the sides of the ribs. Good. And then releasing your arms down. We're going to take 5 deep breaths together. And on the 5th breath, we're going to have a good lion's breath exhalation. So inhaling here. Good long exhale. Deep breath in. Good long exhalation. And inhaling. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. And on this next one, we'll take a deep breath in and then roar out. Nice deep breath in. Good. So from here, we're going to come back to our little fists and we're going to move on to the back of the body and being mindful of the spine. So we don't want to hit directly onto the spine. We're just going to tap away as high up the back as you can. If you're lucky enough to have someone practicing with you, maybe you can do this on each other and get right the way up to the top of the back. Otherwise, just tapping around the side body, coming onto the back of the rib cage. Gentle taps. So we're coming onto the back of the lungs and the kidneys. Give them a gentle tap. And then slowly coming back up. So we come back to 5 steady breaths. On that 5th breath, a good exhalation. Good. So this last one, as we lion's breath, take a good deep breath in. And roar. Good. So standing with the eyes closed, observing your breath. And gently opening your eyes. So take your hands behind you. We're going to interlace the fingers and extend the arms away. So here, breathe deep into the front of the chest. Good. And then releasing the hands, bring the arms out in front. Again, interlace the fingers. Turn the hands So the palms face out, push the palms away, round your back and breathe into the back of the lungs. And then coming back up, release the arms down by your side. Here we come into a side stretch. So we're going to bring the left hand up onto the hip. As you inhale, turning the right palm up, take the arm up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, bending over to the left side. So feel a lovely stretch through the right side of the rib cage. Breathe into that stretch. And then inhaling, coming back up. So placing the right hand to the right hip. And turning the left palm to face the ceiling. Inhaling, taking the arm up. And exhaling over to the right side. So find that nice opening through the left side of the body and breathe into it. And on your next inhale, coming back up, bring the arms down by the side and observing your breath. So we're going to move with the breath as we slowly roll through the spine. So keeping a soft bend into your knees. We start taking a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. Feel the stretch through the back of the neck. Inhale and breathe into that stretch. Exhale, roll down a little bit further, just until you meet that next little bit of tension, wherever it may be, and hold it here. Take a couple of breaths here. Keep the arms heavy, the head heavy. And when you're ready, slowly rolling down until you meet the next little bit of tension. Hold it for a few breaths. Breathe into that space. When you're ready, rolling down a little bit further until you meet the next bit. Hold and breathe into it. And when you're ready, going a little bit further until you finally come back into this dangling position. Again, feeling that flow of the breath as it moves in and out of your body. Let the arms and the head be heavy. And then slowly making your way down to all fours. We're coming into our tabletop position with the wrists under the shoulders and the knees hip distance apart underneath the hips. Moving into a gentle cat-cow. Inhaling to extend and exhaling to round. Inhale to extend. And exhale to round. Keep moving with your breath. And one more each way. And then coming back into a neutral tabletop position. And we're going to come to lying on our backs. So we'll have the knees bent, the feet flat to the mat. And you can have some space between the heels and the sitting bones. They don't need to be too close. Gently hugging your right knee in towards your chest. So using the exhalation to draw the right knee in closer towards the tummy, the chest. Maybe you can feel your thigh pressing against your tummy as you breathe. And then we'll release the right foot down and bring the left knee in. And again, working with the breath, that exhalation, allowing the knee to come closer towards the chest. Feeling the thigh pressing into the tummy as you breathe. Your thigh doesn't quite reach, you find there's tightness in the hips here, it's fine. Just really focus on using that exhalation to slowly soften the knee back towards the chest. And then slowly releasing the left foot down. So we're going to cross the right ankle on top of the left knee. And take the arms to the side, shoulder height with the palms facing up. Take a nice deep breath in here. And as you exhale, twist the legs over to the right side. And you can turn your gaze towards your left hand. So just holding it and breathing into this stretch. If it's too much with this foot placed onto the knee, you can always do it with the foot to the floor. But listen to what your body needs. And then uncrossing that foot. Slowly on the inhale, come back up to the center. And then place the left ankle on top of the right knee. Nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, twist over to the left side, turning your gaze towards your right hand. So really use your breath here. Let your body surrender to that exhale.
And then uncrossing the legs. As you inhale, come back up. So here, bring your feet together. Bring the arms down by your side. We're going to let the knees fall out to the side. Soles of the feet touching. So we come here into Supta Baddha Konasana. So this nice reclined bound angle pose. If you want to, you can have some blocks or cushions. If you want to place cushions underneath the legs, if you find it's too much for the hips. We want to be able to completely relax here. So really allowing the hip flexors to release. And finally allowing the pelvic floor to soften. So soften through your feet, give your toes a wiggle. Soften the knees, the thighs. Soften the hips. Soften through the pelvic floor. So you want to feel the muscles around the anal passage and the vaginal wall, if you have one. You want to feel those muscles softening and moving with the breath. If they're tense, the whole of the pelvic floor will tense up. So see if you can find that space, that softness to the muscles, so they flow and move with the breath. Feel the tummy rise and fall as you breathe. As you're lying here, see if you can observe again that epicenter of the breath. This central expansion point. Has it changed? Is it the same? As we soften and release through the pelvic floor, it allows the diaphragm to soften. And we can start to breathe deeply into the bottom of the lungs. So we start to use our full lung capacity. And as we move forwards, coming into our three-part breath in a moment, we want to be able to find that full, deep breath. So on your next inhale, slowly bring the knees up. Just allowing them to fall in together for a moment, keeping that softness to the hips and the pelvic floor. If you want to stay lying down for the three-part breathing, you can do. You can take the feet a little bit wider and keep the knees falling in together. And sometimes it's much easier to find this deeper breath when we're lying down. So if you find that when you sit up, it becomes shallow again, you can either adjust the sitting position or come to lying on your back and do the practice here. Otherwise, if you're coming up to sitting, just roll over onto one side and bring yourself up.
So our sitting position is important for our pranayama, and it's something that it took me years to work this out. When I first started practicing yoga, I found I sat, didn't realize I was sitting crunched at the tummy. So finding this deep breathing and three-part breathing specifically was really tough. What can help? If you find that as you're sitting, you're rocked back slightly, and if there's any tension in the hips, this will be the case. You can sit up onto a cushion, a block, a bolster. So we want to have the knees below the hips. If it's not comfortable sitting like this, one of my favorite positions for sitting, again, if you've got cushions or a bolster, is to sit like so. And you can rest your hands onto your thighs. So find that steady breath. Again, see if you can release down through the pelvic floor. Can you feel the belly moving as you breathe? As we come into our three-part pranayama. So with the eyes closed, we're going to breathe first breath into the belly and pause. Second part of the breath into the chest and pause. And finally, that last sip of the inhale, topping up the lungs right the way up to the throat. As we exhale, releasing from the top down. So take a full deep breath in. Fully exhale and empty your lungs. So squeeze every last drop of air out. And then taking a sip of breath to the belly. Pause. Sip of breath to the chest. Pause. Sip of breath right the way to the top of the throat. Pause. And exhaling from the throat down. Again, sip of breath to the belly. Pause. Sip of breath to the chest. Pause. Sip of breath to the throat. Pause. And exhale from the top down. So I want you to do 3 more rounds at your own pace. Maybe you can lengthen that little pause, just holding for a couple of seconds. And this one last round. And then come back to a natural breath. And observe any changes in the breath from the beginning of the class. Has it changed? Has the quality of the breath changed? Is it the same? And then gently dropping your chin towards your chest. Just softly opening your eyes and lifting your gaze. Om Shanti.